Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a quick couple of first impressions here for you. Got three knives I recently picked up. Three knives that, hey, look at that, similar sizes. These two are similar in the sense that they're sort of modern traditional flipper type knives, right? On bearings though, with great action and such, made overseas. This guy here is a USA made out the front knife by Axial Gear. But let's get into them. Let's start with that one. So this is made by Axial Gear out of Utah. Very cool. They sent this in to me to check out, which is awesome. You can see here it has a clip for the left side, which is really cool that they offer left-hand carry clips. It is a separate clip, not a reversible clip. You can see there's an angle to the clip, right? So they have to get a separate clip for that, but they do, which is awesome, right? This one is rocking the, I think they call this tan. I would call it gold or bronze, but, you know, you get the idea. There's your American flag. Let's take a close-up look at this guy. So here it is, little guy. Got that cool clip with the Axial logo there. It's a nice chunky knife. It's kind of supposed to be like an Exocet style knife. Instead of having a big wide clip like the Exocet, it has a thinner clip, but it could still be used as a money clip. Here's the top with the switch, which is just fantastic. You can see here, I can do this no problem with one finger. Just, you know, hand me a Microtech and let me try that. It won't work, trust me. Got these little milling pockets right here and here. That's where you mount your clip, which is cool. More of that milling. Here's the back side with some screws showing. You can disassemble this with T6 screws. There's your switch again. Here's the out the front pocket, and here's your blade. Axial Gear on the blade, or Axial, sorry. 3 lines, which is kind of their thing. And you have this sort of crazy little mini Tanto. Both are flat grinds. You have a little two-tone going on. This is an S35 VN steel. Nice retraction. Very cool action. So let's zoom back out. And let's talk about it. So action-wise, man, I'm loving this thing. I mean, it fires, guys. It's big brother, the Shift, also fires. I think the Shift fires a little bit stouter, but I think that's just because of the size of it. I think if they were the same size, this thing would be punching the same, right? So it definitely feels good. It's satisfying, if you know what I mean. Ergonomically, it's interesting. Like, I'm not a big fan of these little chunky type knives, but this does work, and it does work surprisingly better than other small knives because it has that girth to it, right? It's not thick. I mean, like this, right? So if I take out, let's say the Finch knives Runtley, probably a similar size knife, right? It's even bigger, actually. This is a tiny knife. If I hold it back here, it's not that comfortable because it's so dang small, right? And this isn't even a tiny little knife. It's, you know, got some girth to it as well this way. But this thing, because of how tall it is, it just fills your hand out. So it works. This feels better in hand than this does. So if you wanted to see a size comparison, there you go. It's smaller than a Runtley. So there's that. All right, so yeah, ergos are pretty good. Action, I like. It cuts really well, has a good edge on it. It's not the thinnest thing behind the edge, but I mean, for what it's for, like just carrying in your pocket to pop out when you really need it, just to get into something, kind of be unassuming, even though it kind of looks tactical. But it's tiny, right? It's just kind of like, look at that tiny little knife, right? Especially in places where these are legal, like here in Pennsylvania, OTFs are illegal, even though nobody cares really. Meaning like us hobbyists. I don't mean cops. I don't know if they care or not. I am not a lawyer, so don't listen to me about that stuff. Go talk to a lawyer. Disclaimer. So yeah, that's the Axial Gear. Pretty cool knife. I'm digging it. It's not like my favorite knife ever. Would I buy one? They sent me this to review. Would I buy one for 180 bucks or whatever they're going for? I mean, probably not, but that's not to say it's not worth the money. If I was into this, yes, it's worth the money, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't buy an exo set either because it's not my kind of thing. And an exo set would be a much bigger decision considering they're like $300 or something for such a tiny knife. So it's worth the money for sure. The finish on this aluminum's awesome. They do their finishing like ProTech, but even a little more grippy. It's really, really nice. It is aluminum, just really good construction. You don't have more or less blade play than any other OTF. And again, she fires so nicely, so reliably, and comfortably. You know, next to a Guardian Tactical, this is the most comfortable OTF I've handled. The ball bearing thing with Guardian is just so nice, but Microtechs hurt to deploy more than once. This is like enjoyable. So that's the Axial Dart. All right, next up, this is gonna be a quick one. I already kind of did a first impressions when I did my like first video on this, but I've just been loving this so much. I wanted to kind of give an update. This thing's fantastic. This is the Apache, Pena X Series Apache kickstop version. So basically the difference is this one does not have a top flipper. It has a Lee Williams kickstop mechanism, which means, look, it's a hidden flipper tab. As you close it, it pops back out, and then you deploy, and it's hidden in there. It also acts as the stop pin. Very, very cool mechanism, dead center. Just, I'm really loving it, guys. D10's dialed in. The ergos work so well for such a small knife because there's no flipper tab in the way. You get a full grip, much like the top flipper ones. Feels amazing. The action is incredible. Has great acoustics because of the kickstop. And just in general, honestly, I'm loving this thing. I contemplated picking up a clip today from Hobby Garcia, I believe, is who sells the Timascus clips, but they're like $150 for a clip, and I don't know. I'm not really into Timascus and stuff, and that just seemed pricey to me, but I've been doing this for like 3 days straight right now. Just doing this, like, absolutely a blast. I love the marbled carbon fiber, and it cuts like a beast, guys. This thing is a label cutting machine. So absolutely in love with the kickstop Apache from Pena X Series. Next up, I have the Finch Knives Harvester. So I did the unboxing. I did a little update in that video because when I unboxed it, you know, the detent seemed kind of light, and it's not strong by any means, but it's definitely a lot better now because I got the action kind of sorted out. So all I did was put a little KPL heavy on the detent ball, and then I put a little of the Orion Knives oil, just drop on each bearing. I think that was all I did. Yeah, I didn't touch the pivot. I didn't do any of that, and it just smoothed it out so much. I mean, it essentially drops shut now. Like, it's amazing. And the detent, I can't fail it anymore. So it's not quite like rocketing out, but I can't fail it. And if you give it, you know, it shoots out of there. It's great. I love it. D10 is perfect now, to be honest. And I figured out you can get into this nail nick and reverse flick. It's a little easier right-handed because you don't have to worry about the lock, but I can do it left-handed. I found using your ring finger is a little easier. You get a little more leverage. It's sort of in that area already, and it flies out. And this blade, guys, is just stupid. It's just extremely stupid. This blade, I love it so much. I love it. I do. It's just like this Apache blade. I freaking love these blades. They're amazing. So these little modern traditional flipper things are really, they're hot right now. Let's be honest. Everybody's loving these. From Finch to Pena, everybody's loving and digging on them. So I get it. But they're just cool, man. They're really cool. This one has the hand-rubbed satin from QSP. Let's compare it to a couple of its brothers. I have the Finch Holiday, which is a little bit bigger, actually. other than the Holiday and the Cimarron, this is your biggest one, which is good because I prefer that size. And then you have the 1929 right here. So these three are like in the same family, right? I had the Cherry Bomb, but I actually gave it to Big Red EDC. He really wanted to get one in the smoke resin, and that one, while it was cool, it wasn't like up my alley so much as these are. So I just gave it to him. I figured, why not? And then the Runtley here is probably even smaller. And then I have the Cimarron, which is bigger. Again, these are not really that style. And I also have the Tycoona, which is sort of, these two are made by Best Tech. All the other ones are made by QSP. These two I'm going to give away during the, well, I don't know exactly when, maybe the 24-hour live stream. I'll give them away during my segment. Or I'll do it during, for my 3,000 subscriber giveaway coming up. So I'll be using these for those because they're not really knives that I carry. As much as I love all Finches, I love having the Finch's nest. I've already kind of broken it up by giving away the Cherry Bomb. So I figure why not put these to good use. These were given to me by Finch. Not all of them. I did buy, I think, these two. But I don't really carry these, so I figure why not pass it on. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to keep these 4, I think, because I really like the 4 of these a lot. Cimarron is underrated, guys. And let's see, anything else? I don't think so, man. I just think it's a great knife. It fits my hand very well, especially if you climb up onto this choil. I just love this blade shape, guys. It's just made to cut. Like, it just has that tall end to it. I love the sheep's foot, but yet it's a warny. Like, it's just fantastic. And I like it better than cotton samplers I've seen before, you know? So this is my favorite Finch so far. Possibly by far. The Holiday's cool, but I'm not the biggest fan of a sort of traditional warny with the rounded, I almost said head, but that sounded weird. And the 1929 is probably the next closest. I love the look of the 1929, but it's a smaller knife, right? The detent's a little stronger on it, which I like, but, I don't know. I just think ergonomically, size-wise, the Harvester just makes more sense for me. And if I'm being honest, this freaking blade shape, man, it's just to die for. I love it. And I love these little lines right here. They just put a couple little extra touches. I didn't even realize that 1929 had that. Does the Holiday have that? No. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, so I think the Harvester is now my favorite. So whatever that means to anybody, but I love their knives. They're really good pieces, and they're not too expensive. $130 or whatever for you get 154 cm, which is a great steal, especially if you're talking about traditionals. You get great action. You know, essentially drop shut. You could call it a shaker, I guess, because sometimes I have to give it a little encouragement. I love this green micarta. It is a like hard sort of resin micarta, so there's no grip to it. But that's what they like to use, so it makes sense. But yeah, that is it. Yeah, that's all the knives I have here for first impressions. One other thing I want to talk about was a quick update on a knife. So I've been carrying my Demco 80-20.5 for a little bit now because I got these awesome fat carbon scales. I got the fat carbon backspacer. I picked this one up at Blade Show. It's number 94 of 100. I got a new edge on it with my buddy Joe. And I've just realized that this blade steel is not good. It's trash, guys. I don't know what the deal is, if it's heat treat or if it's grinding or what, but it does not hold an edge, man. Like I had it for a little bit before, well, I had it for a while before I sent it off to Choir Boys Cutlery. Shout out to Scab. He did his testing, and then he had somebody put an edge on it and send it back to me. That was like a month ago, and I literally carried it 2 days. And you know my use, guys, barely. And it was sharp when I got it back. I checked it, and it was dull in like 3 days of just basic crap, like cutting labels, opening packages, like maybe a little cardboard. So like I'm just not impressed with this steel. So we'll see how this edge holds up, but I've also heard other people say this steel's not been holding an edge very well. I've heard really good things about AUS 10A, so I expected it to be fine. Like, you know, I'm not a heavy user, so I figured this steel would be plenty for me, right? But so far, it has not been. So, just a quick update on that, and it's fucking sexy. Look at that. Look at it. So, there you go, guys. Some first impressions and a long-term update for you. I love you all. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.